Welcome to Bookworthy. Today we're talking with author and writing instructor Hannah Fouts about her contribution, The Sisters of Starford Point, in the Author Conservatory's Student Showcase, Voices of the Future, Volume 4, Stories of Adventure and Imagination. I had the pleasure of meeting Hannah at the Right to Publish conference in 2004, and I can't wait to hear more about her stories and her writing journey. Welcome to Bookworthy, Hannah.
Hello, it is so great to be here. I'm so honored to be able to be here. I love listening to the podcast, so this is really fun.
It's fun to have you. It's kind of neat to see someone from a conference and to see him like this, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like seeing you again, but not in person.
Oh, yeah, it's so great. That was my first writing conference, so it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's always a good one. I really enjoy that one a lot. I kind of want to go back, but not this year. But we'll try to go again. Well, Hannah, we start with our random question of the week. So what is a phrase or a bit of slang that you say often?
Yeah, so I was thinking over this, and I feel like my phrase changes a lot, honestly. And if you were to ask my husband this, he would probably tell you that it's not a phrase. It's like some random word that I just decide to latch onto and use over and over again. Like something kind of out of the ordinary that wouldn't be in a normal vocabulary that I just picked up from a book that I read or something. I don't know. I can't think of a specific word, but I have like a different word I use like every month that I don't even know that I do it, but he laughs at me all the time for it. So
do you have a word for this month or a favorite word that you've read recently or phrase?
Well, I've always loved the word inconspicuous. When I was a little kid, my mom would read stories to us all the time, and she's told me the story. I don't remember it personally, but I was probably about 2 at the time. And we'd read a story about a polar bear trying to slide across the ground and be inconspicuous. And so I was sliding from behind the couch, and my mom was like, "Hannah, what are you doing?" And I was like, "You can't see me. I'm trying to be inconspicuous." And so, just like a little 2-year-old, you're like, "What?" Yeah. So
I can just imagine a cute little 2-year-old boy saying inconspicuous. Like that.
Yes.
Those don't match, but
I know. Yeah.
Too
so good.
fun. Well, Hannah, tell us a little bit about your short story, The Sisters of Starford Point.
Yes. So this story is about our main character, and hold on, I had a blurb. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay. So this story is written for middle grade readers, and like you said, it's called The Sisters of Starford Point. And it's about how after causing an accident on the docks that lands their dad in the hospital, Olivia and her younger sister, Nora, have to recruit their Uncle Silas to help finish the fishing trip so that they don't miss another payment and lose the fishing boat. In order for him to go, though, the girls have to take care of his lighthouse and make sure that everything runs smoothly while he's away. But the storm on the horizon is about to cause more chaos than Olivia ever anticipated, and it may wash away any hope of restoring her shattered relationship with Nora.
Well, what was the inspiration behind this story? It sounds very interesting.
Yes, so my family and I, back in 2021, took a vacation to Maine, the coast of Maine. And I'm a person, I get a lot of inspiration from different travels, from my surroundings and the settings I'm in. And oh my goodness, the coastline of Maine, we went to Acadia National Park. It was beautiful. I mean, there's lighthouses, these beautiful rocks and fog, and oh my gosh, everything. I just knew when I was there, I have to write a story about this. And I've always been fascinated by lighthouse stories. I'm sure you've read a fair share.
Few.
But I loved them. And especially as a kid, I thought that was just like the coolest thing ever. And so I knew whenever I was getting closer to getting to my final year of Author Conservatory and that we were going to be releasing this anthology, that it would be really, really fun if I was able to write a short story that was set on a lighthouse. So those two things combined really just helped birth this story.
Very neat. I love how just as an author, you really do take in your surroundings, and doesn't matter if you have traveled a lot or you haven't, but your experiences really feed your stories a lot. And that's what makes you a good author, is to be able to take your surroundings and just use it to teach and to encourage others. Now,
Yes.
do you have a sister of your own that you had a struggling relationship?
I have two sisters. I do have two. I have an older sister and a younger sister. And I don't know. My sisters and I have always had a really great relationship. Of course, with any relationship you have little tiffs and fights and oh, that's my shirt. Yeah, you can't wear it, and
Get out of my room. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I mean things like that. But for Olivia specifically, her mom has passed away. And so she feels like she's trying to take on the role of being a parent for her sister. And so that's something she's struggling with, and it's the kind of the catalyst for their relationship struggles. And so I'm the second oldest in my family, but I have a big family growing up. We did foster care, and so always tons of littles that needed help, and that I just got the opportunity to love on. And so in some instances, there were times where I was like, oh, there's so many things going on. I've got to, step up. And I think in some instances it would, I would try to take on like a parent role. And then of course my sister's like, you're not my mom. You can't tell me what to do. And, I'm like, oh, okay, fair point. So yeah.
I love that. I have some friends of, that are part of our friends of our family that do foster care. And it is very interesting to watch, new kids come into their home and for them to be, kind of grafted in for a little while,
Yeah.
and how all the siblings kind of take them on as they just treat them like another sibling, which has its
Yeah.
positives and negatives.
It is, yeah. It is so. It is such a good ministry opportunity just to be able to love on the kids and their families too in some instances.
Very true. Now, what is kind of the message you hope to communicate with your story?
Yeah, so I would say the message that I want to communicate is really just kind of what I was talking about, where especially as older siblings, that there is a time and place for leading and leading by example, but there's a fine line between that and taking on things that aren't yours to take on. And that's something that I'm always like some would call it a control freak. I don't know, where I like to, yeah, I like helping people, and I like, doing all those sorts of things. But there is something to be said, especially as a kid, where it's okay to just be a kid, and it's okay to not feel like you have to do all the different things and be the one to like make sure that you don't rock the boat and do all this stuff. Like it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to just be an older sister and to not feel like you have to take on more than you should.
And with this anthology, was there a basic theme that you guys all had to write off of, or what was the similarities between the stories,
Yeah.
if there are any?
When we kind of started out, we started out with the ideas of, okay, we're all going to choose like similar themes. And so the theme that I initially had chosen was the sisters theme, and it was going to be a sisters anthology. And then really we're kind of learning as we go. And so it kind of morphed and changed a bit to allow, for all the amount of students that we're needing to graduate and push out these anthologies. So really, I would say the thread that kind of connects all of the stories is kind of like it says in the title, is that a lot of them, they deal with adventure and they deal with imagination, which is something that I've always just been I have such an overactive imagination. It's a little crazy. I mean, I could tell you some stories, but yeah, I think adventure and imagination definitely is a great theme kind of running through all of the different stories, and they all definitely have their own unique spin on them. All of the authors in this anthology have their own unique voice and message, and it's just been such an honor to be able to be in this anthology with them. And yeah, they're all such, not just aside from the fact that they're incredible authors, they're just incredible people. So it really has been such an honor to be able to be in this book with them.
Very fun. And this was your class at the Author Conservatory, correct? So you kind of all came together. You're going through the classes and putting this together. So tell us a little bit about the Author Conservatory.
Yeah, so the Author Conservatory is a college alternative program for writers who are serious about writing and want to become published authors. And I heard about it. Brett Harris and Kara Swanson are the co-founders. They're also so incredible.
Very incredible authors.
Really, yeah, incredible authors, incredible people, just wonderful character. And I love them so much. But yeah, so with Author, it's not only training you about writing, because that's something that they kind of notice about a lot of different colleges. If you go to like learn to study English or creative writing, they'll teach you, you can learn how to write really well, but a lot of them, you may not learn as much about the publishing industry, how to write a query letter, how to pitch a book, how to write a book proposal, and how to approach a writing career in a sustainable way so that you don't end up burning out and feeling like the only way for me to support myself is to crank out books that maybe I'm not super proud of, but I need money, and so I'm gonna have to keep cranking them out. And so yeah, just teaching this new sort of business model for authors, authorpreneurs is what we say sometimes. So yeah, it was something I was really excited about. Going out of high school, I heard about it, but I didn't think I was going to get accepted, so I wasn't even going to try. And my parents were like, Hannah, you should. Like, what's the worst that could happen? So I applied and I got on a call with them. And I remember, them telling me that I was accepted. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like so excited. So yeah, it's been an incredible couple of years.
I love what Brett and Kara have done is not just, teaching you writing, which they do and do an amazing job at, but also teaching you the business side of writing, because that is the hardest part of wanting to write is you do have to be a business person too. And so to be an entrepreneur or authorpreneur, as you said, and to think about it in a business sense is not usually how writing is approached. It's like, oh, I'm going to write, thus I shall get published, thus I shall make millions of dollars in movies.
Oh my gosh.
All the wonderful dreams that we have.
I remember when that bubble was popped, I was devastated.
But it's a good bubble to be caught early rather than later, and to be like, okay, we've got to look at this differently. And I love that Author Conservatory is doing that for young writers, because there's definitely a large space for young people to write and write well, and to encourage the generation below them and spurring that community on. And so it's neat to see what they've accomplished with that. Now, when are you going to graduate soon?
Yes. So I've already finished all of my assignments. I'm done, but I will be officially walking at a ceremony that they're going to be having in September. So very excited.
That is very exciting.
Yes.
Too fun. Now, what are you up to now?
So right now I am continuing writing. I actually just got an edit letter back from one of my final conservatory projects. So another thing they teach you is how to have a thick skin. And I'm sure you've gotten a few painful edit letters in your time. Just a couple. They're not.
Red is not my favorite color.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I've been working on that. I'm also an instructor for a online program called Kids Write Novels, where I'm kind of getting to pass the baton to these middle school kids who love writing. And what I get to do is I get to teach them English over the course of the school year. And then they write a book. And then at the end of the book, we help them self-publish it on Amazon. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Very neat. What kind of future authors are headed towards the Author Conservatory in a sense?
I know. Yeah, it's really cool.
Very neat. Now, so you're teaching English and so is it more of a self-paced learning homeschool system?
Homeschool curriculum. Yeah. Yes. It is, since it's a homeschool curriculum, it's able to be, people can be really flexible with it. Some of the students are, we have a schedule, I guess. I can't think of the right word, but we have a schedule that we'll give out. Some of the students, they'll follow it to a T. Some of them kind of go off and do their own thing based on, maybe they're really busy this semester. And then their parents are like, okay, now we're going to kick it into high gear, or, just whatever.
Has that flexibility that sometimes us writers need.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Writer's block is something we talk about a lot.
I bet. Now, kind of as you were walking through this program, what was kind of one of the biggest, takeaways you had from the program?
Man.
I know I'm kind of throwing that one at you. Surprise. Sorry.
Still, I'm working on compiling. We do like takeaway posts. And so I'm like working on writing my like 4-year-long takeaway post. Okay. I would say that my main takeaway out of the hundreds and hundreds that I could say is something that I probably wouldn't have thought would be great when I was first starting Author Conservatory. And that is something that they talk about all the time, is that the name of the game, of the writing and publishing game, is to stay in the game until you win the game. And so writing a book, publishing a book, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And that's something that I really had to change my mindset on going into it, because I'm a go-getter. I like to get things done. And if things are taking too long, I move on to the next thing. So, early on in my dream of being an author, that looked like, oh, I'll write a chapter of this book and I'm going to start the next book and write. So really being able to slow down and learn, okay, it's okay if I don't, have a bajillion books published by the time I'm like 25 or something, that's okay. In fact, that's not normal. And in some senses, it's better. In fact, I would say in many cases, it's better to slow down and to really take the time to think through the words you're writing, to think through the projects that you're working on and the ways that you are going to be talking about them and pitching them to people, and to not be discouraged when you do get those rejection letters, or you do get the red tape or the the red underlines of this all needs to be cut. Yeah, I think that's something that's really helped me. And I think if I hadn't attended Author and kind of really learned those lessons and had the support groups that I do and the friendships that I've made through it, I don't think I would have kept on going. I think I would have given up because it was taking too long.
It is kind of hard to imagine. You think, writing is you just write a book and you get it published. But it can be years before an idea that you worked on for years becomes something. So
that is so true.
Definitely, like you said, a long game. So well, Hannah, what is your favorite book?
I have so many. I have so many. I would say some of my favorite books would probably be Anne of Green Gables, A Place to Hang the Moon by Kate Albus. I love that book. And a classic one, all the Penderwick series gets me every time. I love the Penderwicks.
That is a really sweet series. Something we recently discovered with my kids, and it's been a lot of fun to read through.
It is. I love
all very adventurous and imaginative, right?
Yeah, yes.
Too fun. Well, what can we expect next from you, Hannah?
Yes, so I have a couple books that are in the works. I'm going to be pitching one of my books to some agents. I'm in kind of the process of that. So I don't want to give away too much about that, but exciting things. Yes. All the stories and books that I write are stories that spark imagination and protect innocence. That's really what I want to do with the stories that I'm writing. And so, yeah, stay tuned for those. I do have a free short story that's going to be coming out soon to all of my email list subscribers. So that one's going to be a lot of fun over there too.
Very neat. Well, where can people get on that list in order to...
Yes. Great segue, right? Yes. So you can sign up for my email list. I have a link specifically to sign up for it. I also have a website you can sign up through, and an Instagram. And all of my Instagram is Hannah Fouts Author. A website is hannahfoutsauthor.com.
Yep. Kind of easy to find.
Yes.
Just type in Hannah Fouts and you'll get there.
Yes.
Too fun. We'll make sure to have those links in the descriptions as well so that people can find you easily.
Yes. Awesome.
Well, Hannah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
It's been fun to see you again.
Yes.
And thank you for joining Hannah and me on this episode of the Bookworthy podcast. Check the show notes for any books or links that we discussed, and let us know in the comments if you have a favorite phrase or slang that is unique to you. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review so we can discover more great books together. Happy reading!